How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh. And you know, I haven't been to Gettysburg, but if you go there, you'll see evidence of the ghost of men who fought a brutal battle on both sides. 28,000 Confederate casualties. In some areas, you can smell peppermint in the streets, so the ladies walked around with scented handkerchiefs to try to get rid of the smell of death. Death was everywhere. Death was in houses. Death was on the streets. Death was in the colleges. As men died, men screamed, and bloated bodies blowed up to where the faces of the dead men had a sinister grin like the Joker. And you had Pennsylvania College, and this provided lodging for students, and when the battle started, the campus was thrown in the midst of the fight, providing for the wounded and dying as a field hospital. Pennsylvania Hall, large building with stately white columns. It was taken over by the Confederates as a field hospital and a lookout post. Lee used a couple of the old dorm to keep an eye on the progress of the battle. On certain nights, students and members of the college have seen figures of soldiers pacing back and forth in the cupola of the building. It's believed they may be sentries who are placed on duty there to guard the safety of Lee or to deliver the messages of the battlefield. One student reported a roommate who lived in the dorm 50 yards away from Pennsylvania Hall saw a shadowy figure in the tower over several nights. Another occasion, a figure was seen to be gesturing wildly. Apparently, the student called out to him, the figure vanished. Investigation by campus security, the building was empty. Blood sprayed the walls of these buildings and the floors of the rooms. Doctors operated without anesthetic, dealing with bullet wounds with the preferred treatment of the time, amputation. Outside the operating room was an area that those who could not be saved were left to die, with groans and cries that echoed throughout the city. And two college administrators went into an elevator down to the basement, and instead of seeing the basement, they saw a carnage room. Wounded men lying on stretchers and tables, doctors in bloody clothing and orderlies, men having their legs and arms amputated. They pushed the elevator button trying to close the doors, and one of the doctors looked at them as if he were asking them for help. They never went down to the basement again. There are ghost tours of the battlefield. There are ghost tours of the city, because the official battlefield is not just where the battle happened on Little Round Top and where Pickett's charge occurs. It happened all through the town. A town at the time of 2,800 people. So if you get a chance, go to Gettysburg and donate some money to the groups that are trying to save our Civil War battlefields, which are being encroached by Walmarts and shopping malls and casinos. There's a fight in Virginia on this. We need to preserve our history wherever it happens. And sadly, like the giant train station in Detroit that's left to rot, we should go and preserve some of those buildings and turn them into something useful. You've got floors and floors of that building that could be cleaned up. People could be living in them. You could turn that thing into a giant apartment building and leave the shell holes, and people could marvel at the architecture of the day. We have buildings around this country that are boarded up or torn down because people don't care about the history of their city. And that's how I feel about tearing down monuments, because something new and usually uglier and garish, painted in garish brown or yellow, is put up in its place because it's modern or some architect's deranged idea of an improvement, quote unquote. Alright, this is the guy from Pittsburgh. I will be back later with another video. It's now 78 in here and it's getting warmer. Free Art Bell, Free Art Bell's Bumper Music, Free the Duck, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.